You want a perfect example of how to destroy the January 6th narrative that's been pushed by the Democrats, the fake news, and of course, big tech? Yeah, I'm about to show you how to do that by simply asking just a few key questions that will blow their whole narrative to HE double hockey sticks. Before we get to this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. We're at war and we're in a recession. Two things the government don't want you to know, but it's only a matter of time until cracks start to show. And do you know who's going to get hit the most? You. That's why you need to protect yourself and your family, because things will get worse. Fortunately, Noble Gold Investments is here to help you. You work too hard to build up your savings and investments to see it all crushed to bits, and the financial fallout from the wars, the trade tariffs, and the sanctions that are bound to happen. Gold and silver from Noble Gold Investments are real possessions in times like these. Knowing that you're outside the system when it all goes wrong is a great feeling. And a surefire way to keep your money safe for your retirements is a precious metals IRA. Noble Gold Investments have been helping people like you to keep their money safe for years with these. And this month they're giving away a beautiful gold eagle bullion coin with every qualifying IRA of $50,000 or higher. Make sure you don't get trampled. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Now, let's get to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And yeah, man, we've been hearing about the January 6th insurrection for over 2 years now. You know, Tucker Carlson, he came out last week to show some video footage that upset some people. He upset the Democrats. He upset the fake news. He upset some rhinos. People were mad, saying this right here, he needs to be taken off the air and blah, blah, blah. He's downplaying it and so on and so forth. And I thought to myself, he was just being very transparent. See, I think it's very important to be transparent. This way, we don't have to sit back and listen to this narrative for the next 10 or 15 years where they're saying we almost lost our democracy and stuff like that, because they are using one particular key word when they describe the insurrection that if you question them about that one particular key word, it will unravel the whole thing. And if I don't do that, then I got to be subjected to hearing this for the next 20 years. Once again, we're taking a moment of silence to acknowledge when we almost lost our democracy to the white, angry Trump supporters, those radical MAGA hat wearers. Yeah, we would hear this for the rest of the history of this country. So if anything could come out that would show the opposite of what they're claiming this is, it would destroy their narrative. And that's why it was important for them to try to protect this and keep Tucker from showing what we're about to watch. Because after we watch this quick little clip, I'm going to simply ask a couple key questions that if you are honest and rational, you're going to say, yeah, that's a good point. That's why they don't want to see this. So see if you can catch the magic word that they are using to push this type of propaganda, and are also worried to try to protect. Because if it doesn't come across as being portrayed like the magic word says it is, then the whole thing falls apart. Let's see.
It was neither an insurrection nor deadly.
January 6th, when an estimated 2,000 rioters breached the Capitol building, causing the deaths of 5 police officers.
Certain dates echo throughout history. December 7th,
What?
1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th.
The mob beat officers with anything they had on them. Hockey stick, flagpole, a fire extinguisher.
Here we go.
Police officers died.
They died.
Donald Trump supporters who, of course, rioted and killed police officers.
By the evening of January 6th, the Democratic Party and its publicists in the national news media had settled on a description of what had happened that day. They distilled an enormous number of highly complex events that even now we don't fully understand, into a single emotionally laden political slogan, which they've repeated for years with remarkable discipline.
What's the word?
January 6th, they said, was a deadly insurrection.
There was a deadly insurrection that the right wing is trying to cover up. He incited a deadly insurrection.
Incited a deadly insurrection.
The violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago. It was about white supremacy.
Ooh, some white supremacy.
A deadly insurrection. Everything about that phrase is a lie. Very little about January 6th was organized or violent.
What?
Surveillance video from inside the Capitol shows mostly peaceful chaos.
It doesn't look too deadly.
Worked. The term deadly carries enormous emotional power, which is why they used it.
Well, yeah, of course. If you hear something that's entitled or described as deadly, shoot, man, you want to go the opposite direction. If I say, yo, there's a deadly car accident up ahead, and you get up there and it's just a small fender bender, you're concerned. If you're sitting back talking about, man, a deadly storm is coming and I see one snowflake just fall, yeah, I'm going to have to question if you're being honest with me or not. So when you say it's a deadly insurrection and just miraculously every single one of those people were on one accord, they all woke up that day and decided, you know what, let's all describe this whole event as a deadly insurrection. Nobody coached us. Nobody sent out an email. No, we're not taking orders from the Democrat Party, even though they would love for the narrative to be that this was a deadly insurrection. But with me being a rational, logical person that I am, I have to question some things. If you tell me something is deadly, I need to see some deadly stuff happening. See, you don't just throw that term out there recklessly. So let's scrutinize this narrative of a deadly insurrection. First things first, who died? Well, I just listened to a montage where they said 5 police officers died and police officers were killed. Well, I do know Ashley Babbitt was killed, who was a Trump supporter. There was another lady who was crushed by the crowd because the police was spraying her with pepper spray and wouldn't let them pull her out and give her CPR. Another Trump supporter died, I think, of cardiac arrest, but no police officers died on that day. But yet, for some reason, the Democrats keep saying that those police officers were killed on that day. Now, here is the magical question based on the definition that they're using. Deadly. Well, if it was a deadly insurrection and it was worse than 9/11 and all of that stuff and 5 police officers were killed, then we need to do an investigation. My first question is, who killed the 5 police officers? Is it normal that police officers are just killed and there's no follow-up investigation or pursuit to go after the assailants, the people who killed them? All of that video footage, where is the video footage showing us when these police officers were killed? Maybe, just maybe, we can use some facial recognition and identify those killers, because right now we should know which officers were killed, but by who, when they died, how they died, and who are the suspects. They should have an outline, a chalk outline, to show us here's where the deaths took place. Here is where so-and-so lied dead, and in this corner, this other guy lied dead, and the video camera should show all of these people attacking those officers and killing them. But for some reason, we're not seeing that. In fact, I'm not even aware of any additional effort to go and find these cop killers, y'all. So why aren't they pursuing these cop killers? You're just going to let 5 police officers that were killed on that day go free, but yet you'll spend time going after grandmas who walked around the building and folks that just wandered in and people who put their foot on the desk and all of that stuff. You'll go after them, but you won't go after these people who killed these 5 police officers. So if it is what you say it is, and it was a deadly insurrection that resulted in 5 police officers getting killed, then it should be an ongoing investigation to identify the killers. Should be some chalk outlines. Oh, you mean tell me they didn't die on that day? That's why there's no chalk outlines? But wait a minute, we just heard them talking about that 5 officers were killed. So I should be able to see a crime scene just roped off, and here's where this person laid, that's where that other oh, so they didn't die on that day. You can't prove that it was a result of Trump supporters killing them, but yet you're still using this narrative to go on TV and tell everybody it was a deadly insurrection that resulted in 5 police officers being killed. Yet they didn't die on that day. You can't find a suspect. You don't have any killers. Nobody's charged with murder. Nobody's even charged with insurrection, but y'all keep saying deadly insurrection. Could it be that you're trying to trick people's brains into thinking that it was a deadly insurrection and these 5 officers were killed during that deadly insurrection? Because it's hard to sell it, whereas people will look at this as we almost lost our democracy based on that video footage we just watched, where people were walking around looking like, oh, this is a nice place, and they were picking up stuff, and the man with the horns was being shown around by police officers, and even the first officer, Officer Sicknick, that they said was initially killed by a fire hose or something, I don't know. Come to find out he didn't die, wasn't killed, he was just walking around the building. And then days later, somehow, mysteriously, these officers died. And yet the Democrats and the fake news are trying to tell us that they were killed by Trump supporters. Could it be that they're lying to you? So the next time somebody tell you police officers died on J6 or it was killed by Trump supporters, the question you should have is, well, where are these suspects? Why aren't they looking for these murderers? No suspects? They're not even asking, can somebody please identify the men or women who killed these precious police officers? But it's almost like they just chalked it up as a loss. That's right. They were just killed somewhere, somehow throughout that day. But it's not worth going in and looking for the people who killed them. I'm sure they'll turn up at some point. Kind of like how they're still not looking for that mysterious bomber who planted that explosive, allegedly trying to, I guess, blow up Kamala Harris or something. But just no more pursuit for some reason. Isn't that odd? You would think out of all the people they went after, the first people they should be going after are those people who killed those 5 police officers. Whew. No crime scene, no chalk outline, no fingerprints, no video footage of them being killed, no suspects. Wow, it's almost like they just made it up and keep saying it, hoping that dumb people will believe it. No wonder they don't want video footage like this out. So ask them that question and see what they have to say about it. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. Don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on my other channel. The link will be below this video. Check out my PayPal, my Cash App if you want to help out the channel. Feel free to do so. Check out my links to go to my podcast if you want to listen to my live shows on podcasts. And hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your subscription notification button is set to all. And also follow me on Rumble in the Jungle. And we'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner, where I got to play cross-examiner and ask these questions that the media, I guess, they're not asking. They're not